Hello Taurus, Taurus rising and Taurus moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week of December 11th, 2017. And just a quick reminder for all of you Tauruses out there, remember if you ever want to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. And actually, got a special announcement. I'm doing an end of the year sale as a big thank you for such a wonderful year here on Scarlet Moon and Integrative Mysticism. And I'm actually doing $65 gift certificates for $50 until the end of the year. So if you want to take advantage of that, remember $65 normally gets you a 45-minute session with me, but you're getting it as a substantial discount, and you can apply it however you want for scheduled readings. It does not apply to bundles or to video files, but still may be a good package you want to consider. And again, you can get that at my website or just follow the links below. So, what is going on with the astrology this week for you? Well, it's all about Mercury retrograde, but Mercury retrograde behaving well for everyone, it seems. And on Tuesday, we've got Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun in Sagittarius in your 8th house of shared resources and passive income. And remember, with Mercury retrograde here, he's being way cooler to you than a lot of the rest of us, because Mercury retrograde in the 8th house is usually about, balancing things like debts, getting money back to you that is owed to you. A lot of you tend to be more on the collect or on the, on the receive during this time. And with Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun, there may actually be something you didn't know was owed to you getting highlighted, whether it was something that was left behind. Maybe you thought you took exactly what was due to you, and you left a little bit behind because there was actually more, and the extra feels like a big old gift. But there does seem to be something being handed back to you or settled with you, again, as a lovely gift or a lovely, I guess you could say, act of appreciation. Something, again, a piece of compensation you didn't know have coming, and you might just be getting news about it during the Mercury retrograde here on Tuesday, but you'll probably have it in hand when he goes direct on the 22nd. On Friday, we've got Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus in this area, and this could actually be wonderful for a lot of you out there who are dating, looking for dates, or perhaps trying to find some extra time with a lover, because Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus can indicate something being re-realized, or we're giving something another try, or we're bringing something back and putting it back on the table as a regular part of our routine or regular activities with a sweetheart or a lover. This may have been a pastime that we shared with a partner, whether it was recreational or intimate or, or whatever, and it may have actually fallen by the wayside. Over the last few months. It may have been something that we just don't do so much of anymore, whether, again, time availability, all those kinds of things. We're getting it put back on the table. And the same can go for single Tauruses out there, especially when it comes to perhaps even getting a chance to bump into somebody again at an event or at a pastime or something that you used to do but you no longer do. So maybe you want to, check out maybe putting that back on your weekly routine and see if that person will show back up again, because it looks like we have an interesting turn of events on Friday. So what's going on with your cards? Well, for your spiritual advice, you give the card of the Chimera. And the Chimera the prompt reads, imagination clouds your judgment. And this week it's going to be very, very important to pay attention to where, when we say imagination clouds our judgment, sometimes that can, mean we give something too many positive emotions and it clouds our judgment, or we give something too many negative emotions and it clouds our judgment. And we have to know when to keep things in balance. You may be feeling like a lot of things this week are reminiscent of old issues, or they poke on bruises and wounds that are not 100% healed. Now, they could also be seductive, and, sometimes it's not poking a bruise in a way that makes us angry and kind of sets us off, but it pokes a bruise that kind of sets off a lot of familiar, its energies, and I want you to be careful with the Chimera, because this is a week where we may become seduced by things that, again, we are putting all that energy into it. We are falling in love with our imagination, and not the job or the person or the place or whatever that we seem to be thinking of. We may also be misjudging a person or job or whatever, because it may make us a little bit paranoid. It may remind us of something that, that makes us uncomfortable. The problem with the Chimera card is that basically all of these things are on steroids this week. And you got to make sure that you know where the steroids start and you do, and you stop. Otherwise, you know, we could be, again, making a lot of bad calls. It's not necessarily the end of the world. Just keep yourself grounded and balanced. Honestly, when it comes to this kind of card, I tend to not make any, you know, big conclusions about any one existing situation. Again, because sometimes the emotional high, whether it's seduction and lust and love, or it is fear, anger, and irritation, will, you know, take precedent over accuracy, and we don't want that. And that's a big thing going on with everyone. Saturn's about to transition, you know, people freaking out. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we got the Two of Wands reversed. This may be what that Chimera was warning us about. With the Two of Wands reversed, we tend to see a situation where there is a major miscommunication. People are trying to speak in a style of language or syntax that they don't necessarily normally speak in. And we may get taken in, or we may be put off. And either one, you know, at this point is incorrect. The Two of Wands reversed, I always talk about this, I kind of be like, bad speaker, meet bad listener. You know, and with the Two of Wands reversed, this could indicate a warning about a financial deal or transaction that we do need to actually suspend for this week, you know, so we can actually, you know, readdress and reconnect with it down the road. This can also be an issue when it comes to hiring for a new job. The Two of Wands upright can indicate that you may think you're applying for something or you're trying to get something taken care of, but you're really applying for something else because, again, maybe we didn't, you know, they weren't speaking correctly, or we didn't hear them correctly, or maybe it's got nothing to do with you, and you've got a hiring manager and a director, and they're talking, and, you know, again, bad listener beat bad speaker, and we've got, you know, we've got a bit of a jumbled mess to sort out here. However, whatever this miscommunication is, usually with the Two of Wands reverses, we have people acting like they get it 110%. So this week I would be very mindful when it comes to, you know, again, any kind of work and financial transactions, because if people are assuming they know what you're talking about, and they act on that, and they're wrong, it may be that much harder to clean up and reverse. So I probably wouldn't finish anything this week. It's okay to get it started, just don't finish it until next week. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we have the Four of Wands upright, beautiful card, because the Four of Wands does indicate perhaps some kind of, I guess you could say, big culmination or big evolution in a relationship surrounding an event. This may not be something as obvious as, say, like a wedding, but this could actually be perhaps the Four of Wands, you know, an opportunity for some of you to meet somebody new through an event coordinated by a friend or relative coming up this week, or somebody you know from work. The Four of Wands can also show up where you may be getting good news about a friend or a relative themselves actually going and having some kind of big breakthrough, and for some reason it's a big enough breakthrough that it's a huge boon to, you know, the entire social group, the entire family, whether it's a big financial gain, again, maybe some wonderful relationship or family news, but this news, whatever it is, does also bring some kind of kickback to you. There's something about this Four of Wands that is actually sharing its success with you. Maybe you were already invested in this, but there will be a payoff this week. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Lovers card upright. Taurus, the Lovers as a challenge upright can indicate we're having a hard time finding some win-wins. It's not necessarily talking about relationships. The Lovers often talks about a commitment that is a win-win for, you know, for all sides, for all parties involved. So this can talk about platonic situations. And again, when we talk about looking for the win-wins, this could be looking for win-wins when we're trying to settle an argument or a debate, looking for a win-win when we're settling confusion, like with that Two of Wands reversed. And the win-win situation, I think, you know, honestly can be realized with the Lovers card upright, but it does also indicate all people need to want a win-win. And that can be a challenge when dealing with friends and family members, because some people, even people who are close to us, they don't want a win-win situation. We've all been in situations where, you know, again, in a business partnership, a romantic partnership, or again, even dealing with neighbors and siblings, a person may be in a space where they don't want a win-win. They want to win and they want someone to lose. It's like a part of that process. If they want you to lose just because they want to feel 100% right, That's not actually going to work with the Lover's card as a challenge. Everyone wins or everyone loses. And that is the challenge, you know, to deal with sometimes. Because again, some people do want to be the only ones who win because maybe they feel like they lost if they tied. Even if it's from somebody close. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Four of Swords reversed. And this could be a very interesting week, I think, for a lot of single Tauruses, because the Four of Swords reverse can indicate an opportunity to meet somebody, but things almost go too quick for comfort. So make sure that, you know, again, we keep things under control, we just stay mindful. The Four of Swords reverse can indicate, you know, a lot of chemistry and a lot of, you know, mutual attraction in a potential new partner, but if it starts off as a runaway train, the train will fall off the tracks. That's the other warning about the Four of Swords reverse, because the Four of Swords reverse can talk about, again, something burning the candle at both ends. You know, it goes up too fast, there's no more wax left, and we want to make sure that there's something for, you know, for the next day and the next week. So if you are seeing people, it does look like a really, really good start, but again, don't be addicted to the adrenaline rush, because that will run low, okay? Just a bit of advice, but, you know, keep your thoughts out there, keep your options open. Looks like we've got a lot of that going on. The Four of Swords reversed, for those of you who are currently coupled, can indicate you may be noticing a partner doing a lot of this with you. You know, they're kind of, again, burning the candle at both ends. Maybe they're spending a lot more time at your side. Maybe we're feeling a little bit crowded by our partner. Or maybe we've just been noticing a lot of situations have been forcing us to, you know, be, you know, glued at the hip every day and night. And again, it almost feels like, you know, we are again burning the candle at both ends with both of us. And there is going to be a need to consider some space. Sometimes this is just circumstantial, you know, we're dealing with this because of kids, we're dealing with this because of relatives, we're dealing with this because of a vacation. But with the Four of Swords reversed, there can be, you know, some challenges that come from this as well, because we don't want to, like, resent not having our own space, not having our own alone time. And, you know, the Four of Swords reverse does say there could be some frustrations that come if we don't give each other that time and space this week. So make sure that we, you know, we understand we're getting plenty of time together, but we need plenty of time not to be together, because it's a warning about, you know, possible quibbles and quarrels about not having that time apart. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.